Hello. I guess in several seconds you're going to see me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. I'm really happy to welcome all you here. And I guess that we have a really big number of visitors, like the record for me, actually. And I'm very sorry because the platform has its limits. But anyway, we're gonna share the video with you, so you will be able to watch the webinar. Well, hi everyone again, and I guess we can start. I see lots of people are writing from different cities. Yeah, Irpin, Lutsk, Kam'yansk, Kryvyi Rih, Uzhhorod. Nice. Sumy, so many different people. Perfect, great. Welcome everyone, and I hope that today the webinar will be useful for you and you will get lots of ideas. Also, I promised a bonus for you, and I will tell about the bonus a bit later. So, let's start. Today, we're gonna answer the questions. What listening skills do the students need? How to start teaching listening? Today, we are focusing on young learners. How to engage students with a listening task. Certificates, one of the most important questions. They will be sent to you within a week. This is an automatic process. The program sees emails that you registered and send you the certificate with the name that you stated it. Unfortunately, people who use ukr.net mails don't get registration emails, confirmation emails, follow-up emails from this platform. So each time we announce the webinar, we advise teachers to register different mailboxes. In this case, if you registered ukr.net, in this case, you probably won't receive the certificate. It's not just because the program forgets about you. It's just because ukr.net doesn't accept these mails. I checked it several times with my ukr.net account. I didn't get it any time, but I saw that the program sent it to me. Unfortunately, I can do nothing. I can't make the program do it. I can't download your certificates and send them to you. So please, next time, be very attentive and do it as advised, actually. We are very sorry for inconveniences. We are discussing this problem, but unfortunately, there is still no one response that will satisfy everyone. You will get your certificate in follow-up email. You need to scroll down and get certificate. You need to use this button. It will open in a new tab on the internet, and then you download it. This is how you get your certificate. So let's, the first thing first, and now let's move on. National Geographic learning in Ukraine and in the world. The main topic, the main message that National Geographic Learning wants to give us is that studying English, it's not a separate process from the world. They try to show that it is the world with the materials, with the photos, with videos, with the program itself, they try to show that English is a worldwide language. People in different parts of the world speak English, and you need English if you would like to find out more about the world. You need English in order to be successful. So all the courses says us about that, and it becomes much easier to motivate students with the books. I've checked it several times with my students. I had this comparison, and it works. I see these shining eyes, lots of questions, lots of discussions, interest in the task. Well, some news. National Geographic Learning proposes for teachers some online teaching. Now we all are locked in our houses, and we can't have this teaching process as we are used to. That's why all of us need to understand how to work with Zoom, how to work with Skype, how to organize it, right? It's not so easy. That's why National Geographic Learning prepares the whole page with lots of resources. I invite you to look at these resources actually. So this is the site. I hope you can see my screen. I will just turn it on and off for you to see it again. So this is the site, eltngl.com. And if you go to this, I will show it from the very beginning. If you go to this site, it looks like that. You can find this, visit our online professional development resources site. You click there, you go, and you can see lots of like treasure box, special webinars from experts, people who study this online teaching. You can download this infographic. You can watch different useful webinars. You can register for upcoming webinars, watch them, and get certificate. You can see these training videos, teaching live lessons online. You see they are adding a new material constantly, actually. Then, teaching resources, you can download quick lessons for English learners. Something about up-to-date topic, about this COVID-19 situation. You can download, you will get presentation, handouts that you send to your students, lesson plan. So this is a ready-made plan on the hot topic. So feel free to come here and to use it. Free ebooks. You can read, not download, just read some books for teaching online. Get some ideas, some methodology. It's not just the collection of useful sites. No, this is actually the program itself, how it should be done, what should we pay attention to, how to make this process work. All right, so it's important if, for example, you want to continue this online teaching, you see that the future is with it, right? Pay attention to this. Now they are free, you can come and read and look. All right. Our courses. You can see here the main courses for children, for teenagers, for different needs, different levels, different ages. If you would like to focus on this vocabulary, grammar, but still motivate your students, pay attention to this wonderful world for the primary children and close up second edition for secondary school. They perfect if you would like to make your students real experts in English. If your curriculum requires using this CLIL maybe topics. Communication. You would like your students to be able to communicate on whatever topic it is. Pay attention to Our World and Impact series. Our World for primary students, Impact for secondary students. They will be able to discuss lots of problems, understand authentic texts, discuss different events or processes, and be able to continue their studying in English on whatever topic they choose. TED Talks are also a perfect way to teach our students understand speech, be confident speakers. So if you have a group of 14, 15, 16-year-old teens who are very difficult to motivate, but you know that they can show great results, have a look at these series. Probably this is what you are looking for right now. If you happen to work with adults, we have answers to different questions problems that adults can have. They would like to pass an exam, they need some business skills, they need some English for communication, for traveling. We have different series that will cater their needs. So again, have a look. We have site where you will get the link to the site where you can check all the samples. So you simply download one unit from the book that you like, you try it, you look at it, you work with your students, and you understand if this book is good for you, or you need to find something new. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I will be happy to help you, to consult you, and to find the perfect solution. Well, that was it. Now let's move to our actually main topic. Do we need to teach listening? Actually, this is my question to you. Here you can see like the finish of the lesson, the end of the lesson. Students have prepared some writing. Now they have some dialogue, right? So these are lots of things that we taught them: to write, to speak, to communicate, actually, right? Do we need to teach listening? And I have a small poll for you. Let's try. Yeah, so you need to show what you So now I can see your answers. I will share with you, I guess, in several minutes. And I would like to say that your answers are like, I don't know, like honey to my ears or to my eyes, because this is I understand why you are here, so I hope that the following information will be really useful to you. Okay, let's wait for 1 minute, and I'm going to show you the results because I see the numbers are changing. It means that some of you are participating. Okay, 30 more seconds. I will just look through your questions. Lots of you wrote me, yes, of course. Communication is great. Listening is an activity is not very often, but students listen to each other and me every lesson. Yeah, yes, we're gonna, like, I will focus on it just in several minutes. To find the chat, actually, Natalia, unfortunately, the only way to communicate today is to write where you'll have already written. So you find this question mark on the top side of your screen, and you write me. From time to time, I look at your questions, and I hope we will have these question answer series. Good. So I guess we are going to stop the poll, because I would like to share lots of information with you today. And here are the answers. You can see them. So most of you teach listening each lesson, right? More or less. Again, like the third part of the teachers, several inputs per unit. So you focus on listening. Great. Some of you, like a little amount twice a year before test. Yeah? And everyone understands that listening actually is as important as everything else. Well done. Thank you very much for your answers, for your participation. And we move on. Can you see my screen? Yes, no, yes, yes, yes. People write yes. Thank you very much for your response. Let's move on. I found these nice statistics, I would say, something like that, in one of the book. Can you guess what the missing words are? On average, we can expect to listen as much as we speak, more than we read, and more than we write. Any ideas what words are missing? Three times, some people write Yes, I guess times. Yeah, there are times. I'm not sure that we have three. I will yeah, but yes, five, maybe 5, 6, 7, 4, 3 times. Now sound, try to mute, to unmute yourself. Yeah, so these are the words. Most of you wrote me right ideas. These are words connected to statistics, to numbers. And for example, on average, we can expect to listen twice as much as we speak, right? So we listen twice as much as we speak. Yeah. What about comparison to reading and to writing? Twice. Oh, wow. Now, yeah, I saw that before I gave you the answer, lots of you wrote me this. Okay, thank you very much. Let's have a look. On average, we can expect to listen twice as much as we speak, 4 times more than we read, and 5 times more than we write. This is, again, about listening. So you can see that this is a process that we use almost, right? I think it's quite obvious, but anyway, now we have this picture, right? So it's not just about the lesson, it's about our real life. So if you want our students to become confident in English, they need to be confident in listening, because this is what we do the most often. This is a very long abstract, but I guess it explains several words. It explains why listening is important, why we need to teach that. This is Nick Peachy, who said that by developing their ability to listen well, we develop our students' ability to become more independent learners. As by hearing accurately, they are much more likely to be able to reproduce accurately. refine their understanding of grammar, and develop their vocabulary. You see? So everything starts with listening. Once we are able to understand what these flow mean, yeah, we are able to understand, to reproduce it more accurately. We will be able to understand grammar. We will get some new words. That is why listening skills are really important to be developed from the very beginning of studying English. A bit more methodology, and we will go to practice. I found this book that I'm reading now. I like it very much, and it gives lots of interesting insights for me, and I hope it will help to become even better teacher. So about this process, some people think that listening is a passive process, right? We just sit down, relax, and we listen. Nothing happens. Is it true? I guess that looking back at your answers, no, it's not true. Yeah, we start from this encode the spoken message, right? So we hear something, then we have this understanding of small words and to phonemes, right? Then in our mind, right, we transform them, and after that we again so we put them into parts, then we combine them together, and then we give a response. We can, for example, answer the question, right? If we heard an answer, so it was a very long process of decoding, then combining again and understanding that this is a question. We can do an action. We can respond somehow. Yeah, maybe it could be an action, answering, maybe we remember something, or have an image in our, or have understanding what person is in front of us actually, right? So in our language, we don't even pay attention to this. But for second language, for third language, for foreign language, this is quite difficult because we don't have so, especially not we also, but primary learners, just beginners, they don't have so much information in their head. They don't have so much connections to match the codes that they get from the outer world in what they have to their background knowledge, right? So this is quite quick, and moreover, we have to do it quite quickly, right? Because we can't answer the question like for maybe 2-3 minutes, right? We don't have this time. We have to respond immediately. So this is very difficult process, and we need to keep it in mind when we teach our learners. Why? First of all, to speak very clear language, to give them short instruction, it's better to say 2-3 words in English than have these long explanations, right? Have these visual aids to help students get these associations, right? We need to understand that we need to give, to pre-teach them something. In this case, this process, will be much quicker and much easier for our even very, very young learners. Well, looking to this, so we move on, and I'd like to say that there are two main processes about this, like interpreting the language. When we hear the sound, we can do it from bottom to the top, right? So we start by recognizing phonemes, combining them into syllables, right? Then syllables into words. Then we have these parts of the sentences, sentence, the text, and after that we understand what is behind the text, right? So we start from small part to the top, right? top-down process. This is a more complicated process. We start from some background, some context, and then we understand what was said to us. For example, if you go to the shop, or a little kid goes to the shop, he wants to buy candy, right? He will probably understand that the shop assistant is going to ask him about the price, the quality, quantity, sorry, right? Which one, name of this chocolate probably, right? So this is the background. To give you more clear picture of it, I would like to share with you, oops, I'm sorry, I haven't prepared. Here it is. Yeah, let's have a look. I guess all of you do. All right, this was quite a famous commercial. I just would like to ask if you could hear it, because no sound here, everyone wrote to me. Oh, that's bad. All right, I'm going to, okay, I will see. I see. Unfortunately, yesterday I checked and I heard it. All right, okay, thank you. So the problem was here was, I will just show you the picture and give you some explanation. Here, where is it? So here is the worker. Yeah, he works at the control. Yeah, so he'll like listen and accept signals from the different sailors from ship. Right. This is a German country, Germany, and he gets the message. People say, "We are sinking." Yeah, as we know this. S and th, right? He asked them, what are you thinking about? So does he understand their message right? They say, we are thinking, and he asks what you are thinking about. Yeah, and then the message was improve your English. So does he understand them right? No, doesn't right, because it was another word, right? So what happened? Which of these two processes were involved? Bottom-up or top-down process? Black humor, yeah. This is quite, yeah, thinking, right. Yes, you are quite right. So what happened? He got these sounds, put them into the word, find some connection in his head. Maybe because he speaks like that. This is his pronunciation, right? And in his head, the words thinking and thinking have no difference. So he used this bottom-up process. And he realized that they are talking about thinking. But what like professional worker would do at his place? He would know that he is now at work. And if people call him and say, Mayday, this is one of this language that people use to talk on the radio. Probably people will talk to him if they have problems, right? So in this case, so he has this background, and from this background, he will understand, however they said that thinking, he will understand that it's the problem of with the sheep, and actually they need a very quick age, right? So these are the differences between bottom-up and top-down process. Of course, it doesn't mean that we need to focus on one and forget about the other. No, we need to combine two of them. And if we talk about young learners, which is what do we start with? Help them recognize sounds, phonemes, words. Yes, most of you wrote me yes. The chat is where you write me, Quen. Click on slide 14. I will do it at the end of my presentation. I guess I will. I would like to go according to my plan, and then any questions from you if we have time. Right, recognition. So the first thing that we focus on, this is recognition. But of course, we will talk about both. So here are examples from our textbook, Wonderful World. Each unit has these sounds of English. It starts from the first level and goes up to the sixth. You can see that it's they're very short, but they focus on very important things. For example, long vowels, right? This is a case in English, right? We don't have such things in Ukrainian or Russian language. So first, we start with the very simple sounds. Students hear them. They can repeat these sentences. That green tree frog has orange feet. Yeah, nothing very complicated, quite easy for first graders, but they can hear them, and they will. So we will practice this. When they work with main sounds, we move on. Another thing is this end of plural. Socks, trousers. First of all, we help them to become more confident writers. And to understand this, yeah, I've got trousers on my legs and socks and shoes on my feet, right? So they will hear z, s sound, but they will understand that this is plural. So by these small inputs, we help develop this distinguishing of different sounds. We move on, of course. Next levels have much more complicated tasks. For example, now we can compare things. This is, if I'm not mistaken, from the third level, which is for the third grade. So we need to compare long U and short U sound, right? And be able to understand where is which sound. Next one, this is those who sound and w sound, right? Are they same or different? So we help students to develop these phonemic listening skills and being able to understand when they move on, when they grow up, be able to understand much more complicated things. So they will be able to understand native speakers, not only their classmates. Then this is a great thing, which I like, when we find rhyming words, yeah? Hair, wear, school rule, phone, own, see, me, right? That is why we actually always got this advice to study poems, songs with children. They are not the only reason, but also because they have these rhymes and they help to develop these skills, right? And even with these rhymes, they will be able to predict what they are going to hear. So moving from sounds, so I suggest you have these parts of the lesson several times, so you can do it like maybe like a game. Students you can from time to time come back and repeat. It could be like a dictation or like a competition, right, with your students. So from time to time you go back to these sounds and you help students to understand, to realize how English is pronounced. Then we move to words. And here I can't help but mention this great lesson planner book, which have, as you can see, the clear pictures for step-by-step instructions, and also things like what to start with, and teaching tips. This is like treasure. We had a rubric on our Facebook page where we printed some of teaching tips. They are really useful and give us lots of ideas that we can use not only with the book, but with any of the book. So here they recommend us and our primary learners to pay attention to the numbers, how they pronounce. Because for some students, it is quite difficult to be very quick to hear, for example, 8 and to write 8 on the paper, or to take 8 something. Right? And numbers, this is what we need, right? We need them to buy things, we need them to call people, we need them for lots of stuff actually. And they suggest us different games. So they recommend to help students understand numbers when listening, not only when they read them, but for listening. Yeah, for example, bingo game, yeah, repeating telephone numbers, some calculations. Yeah, you can add some math into your language, into English language lesson, and it will be something unusual for students. For example, I remember one of my students was really good at math. He was first graders. He didn't was into English, but when we had these some calculation things, he was the first to answer. So I got him. I got his attention. With telephone numbers, I also just now I remember this thing. When I played with my first graders, I had cards with phone numbers. It was like like a business card, but. This business card has it has fake name, Jack, Mary, June, any name, and 2 numbers, like my number and number of the person I would like to call. It was like just some numbers, and if we put all 6 cards, we will see that there are like 2-3 different figures. Not all of them are different. Especially first 5 are the same. So I hand out these cards to students. They have them, read them. So they would like to call to business partner, of course, because our first graders know today's first graders, they would like to be grown up, to be serious people. So they were all businessmen. They call each other, and they need to understand whose phone is it, whose phone number is it. So we played it several times. If it is a small group, you can play all together. If it is a big class, you can just put, for example, 4, 5 students. They will, or pairs or groups of 3. They will. So they need to listen. In this way, we help them to understand the number, and it would be very helpful when they pass exam in their everyday life. So when we talk about young learners, don't forget about these numbers. Next, grammar. We were talking about this thing, right? Remember this Nick Pichi, right, article, who said that it helps to distinguish. Some students, this is not what we do every time, but again, it helps to raise this grammar awareness and to add some fun. So we add some movements. Here they recommend students need to clap when they hear a personal pronoun like I, it, me, they, you, and to tap on the desk, or like my desk is like this, yeah, to tap when they hear a possessive pronoun, my, your, and so on. You don't do it from the first listening. You do it like an extra activity, probably at the end of the lesson. Or after first you read the text, then you practice grammar. You can use the same audio in order to practice it. And again, it requires like very quick response. So we build this. Hear English, answer English. Yeah, hear and answer this connection. Moreover, again, I would like to show you how to find audio here. So this is site for the book. It has sample units. It has teacher zone with lots of different useful material, and student zone with audio. So this was example from the first level. So as a teacher, I can even do it with my phone. Okay, when it comes to demonstration, it decides not to work. No, everything is fine, good. So I just go here. As you see, for students, there is no password. So at home, they can do it. You can do it at the lesson. You can try it actually after the webinar. You just select the track. Yeah, it was like that. Yeah, and you listen to it. Let's try to do like this. I mute myself, then I will unmute, and you will tell me if you can hear the audio. Okay, I just would like to check this. Okay, you can hear me, I guess. Can you hear the audio? Could you please write to me if you can? No. Okay, I hear no sound. Okay, good. So we won't do it anymore. No sound. Okay, I see. What? Some people write yes. Can you hear sound? No, most of you write no, but yes, I can hear you, but not audio. Yeah, only you. Okay, thank you very much. Wow, thank you very much for being so responsive. I believe that so many people listen to me right now, and it's like perfect. And I really hope I help you, and we are all having great time. So you do it in real life, listen to it, and you ask your students to clap or to tap. Actually, I invite you to do it after the lesson. When we finish the webinar, now you know how to get this audio, right? And you can take a photo of this, or even don't take a photo. Just remember that you need to clap and to tap. You clap, you tap. And I tried this before the webinar. It was not so easy actually, but it really helps. I felt that my brain starts to work, and so you really begin to pay attention. Moreover, young learners, they need to be engaged. They need always to do something, otherwise they will fly away, right? So you do it with them. Try to do it next lesson, actually with your students, or any time when you study these subject-object pronouns and personal and possessive pronouns. Yeah, and you will see if it works for you, for your class. Okay, let's move on. The same again. Even with listening, we can do different activities, so the students not bored. Yeah, they know that your teacher prepared something new. Here we have this language, classroom language, which we can mime. Yeah, this is the first thing that we pay attention. This is great when students understand all instructions in English. When they hear these simple words, they respond to it. It saves your time. It helps them to develop listening skills. And it helps them to build this hear English, respond, connection. So here are the advice to play the recording, to mark the action. Please be quiet, close your book, go to the board, sit down, take out your homework. So you invent any gestures, you practice them, right? So you you do several useful things at one time, actually. Let's move on. Top-down process. So it was about this bottom-up process. Now, if we talk about top-down, when we understand what was said by using some background information. When we talk about first, second, third graders, what are the difficulties for young learners? I am open to all of your ideas. Lack of language knowledge. Perfect. Lack of active vocabulary. Yes. Discipline. Yeah. We've already had this classroom management webinar. You can find them on our YouTube page, Linguist. You need to type Linguist. Find our page, find their webinar. So we were talking about discipline, about management, motivation, unfortunately. Yeah, attention, lack of vocabulary. Okay, here we talk about only how to understand the sense of the message using background information. Not young learners' problems in general. Yeah. When you add different activities, when you add these movements, when you add beautiful pictures, and when you add pace to the lesson, most of these problems, like, you will face 70% less of the problems. Yes, speed of speaking, right there, understanding, lack of time. Yeah, because sometimes the audio could be very fast, so they still don't have this connection. Yeah, so in order, if we talk about this top-down process, about understanding message from the background, I would like to say that they lack vocabulary. Yeah, they don't know all the words. They definitely don't know all the words, and some part of the word from any audio script. Language knowledge, right? They don't understand when is past, when is present, and plural, singular. It's quite difficult for them. And what we should start with, because vocabulary language knowledge is what we develop during all the years of studying, right? But here we also need to focus on the background information. They don't have so much experience. Some of them probably have never traveled, and this is audio about flying to a new country. Some of them could, I don't know what to say. Some of them maybe don't know about different types of weather in Australia. Yeah, but the text is about this winter in July. Yeah, they will not understand what is going on. So this is what we need to focus on. Before any listening task, never skip this pre-listening stage. When you need to pre-teach new vocabulary, look through the script, think what your learners might not know, and give them these words. Use pictures, use explanations, help them. And remember that if it is a listening activity, what is more important, to show students how the word is written or to say the word? Of course, to say the word, right? They need to understand, if it is listening activity, they need to understand how this word is pronounced and practice saying it. So they hear it, they see the picture that explains the word. For young learners, most of the words could be explained with a picture. This is like one of the positive side of teaching young learners. Yeah, and so teacher says it sometimes, probably use a native speaker voice to present it. Then you ask them to say the words several times. After that, you will be more or less sure that they will understand it in the text. Activate background knowledge, speak about it, use picture, use titles, right? Not just give them actually the information. You're going, you can hear it sometimes in exam tasks. You're going to hear to a boy talking to his parents about summer holidays. So we give this very basic information. But students, younger students will need some more specific information. So think what you need to activate before listening task. What exact part of summer holidays would be discussed? Yeah, and visual aids for young learners, and actually most of these learners in any level, at any level, are visuals. So never skip using this. Now, when we all have this online teaching, it's much easier to find the picture. You don't need to print it out. You just share your screen and you do it, right? So if your book doesn't have appropriate aid, but you think that it would be necessary, feel free to find pictures to show them to students, right? So they need this very much. 2 weeks ago, we had online lesson. If for those of you who don't know, once a week we have National Geographic Learning for Ukraine have these online demo lessons. We invite teachers and students. We have a topic. We usually announce that this is for 3rd and 4th grade. This is for 10th, 11th grade. This is for 5th or 6th grade. And we invite students to take part in the lesson. So they can't answer, but they can write to me. We play different online games. They can write their ideas in some online apps. And we have this process. For teachers, you can see, for example, you can first of all see what your students can do while working with another teacher. And also I try to share some online application that I use in my practice. So this was our demo lesson. We developed listening, vocabulary and listening, right? And you can see that the book gives a perfect, if to start from the 7th up to the 11th. Yeah, exercise. So it gives this perfect way to conduct this listening activity, to develop listening skills. So first of all, we have vocabulary, right? We teach them new vocabulary students need. Then, again, we work with this vocabulary. Here, they added new words from this list, I mean, but some of the expressions that will be in the audio. And also, what is important, it's not just the word, this is a phrase, right? So we say, watch a TV, watch a film, go ice skating, go swimming. In English, we don't say the words separately, we say them in chunks, right? So by doing this activity, students practice it, right? They go swimming, go ice skating. Sometimes you can hear it like go I, then skating. This, yeah, they combined, you can't hear them. So we practice them. We say it several times. It's easier for students to understand when they hear. So when we practiced this, finally we had this listening task. This is one of the way to develop, right? So here you see a visual aid. This is one of the typical tasks that can be found on, when your students pass Cambridge exams, right? So match pictures to the work. heroes. This is the way to develop this top-down process. They have this picture, they understand this is about the week, this is about free time activities. All they need to do is just to match which activity is done in what day, right? Again, I can't help but tell you about this additional resource that you can have if you use Wonderful World. By the way, I'm very interested. Is there any of the teacher who actually use the? Okay, some of you, I do. Great. Who use Wonderful World books. And do you know about these cartoons that you can use with your students if you have lesson planner and can go to this online site? Okay. Okay. Yeah, nice. So great. I see that some of people really do that. Not some of you wrote me honest no. You don't need to say sorry because actually every teacher chooses what he or she finds the most useful, the most appropriate to his experience. So yeah, okay. But anyway, I see that some of you. Okay. Right, so these are the cartoons that can be used. They're additional, you can't find the lesson to them, but you can use them in order to make your students be more motivated, more interested in the lesson. So the cartoon has typical heroes. They are the tiger, the elephant, and the boy called George. The panda, yeah, which is my favorite. So this is a cartoon. Looking at the picture, what will be the cartoon about? Okay, as I see, we are a bit lack of time, so we will. I will try to finish as soon as possible. Visiting, right? Yes, that's true. So, yeah, we activate this background information. What do you think? Which days George visits his grandma? Students give you any ideas, right? Probably. When do you do it? Sunday, Monday, something like that. What do grandmas usually do? Yeah, what do? They knit, maybe, yeah, they cook, they do some gardening, yeah. What about grandma? What does your grandma cook? Yeah, so you have this conversation with your students. You show them parts of the cartoon, and then when they watch, they will be much more familiar with what is going to happen. Unfortunately, I can't show you the cartoon with the sound, but the language is quite simple. So the answer, he does it on Saturdays, and grandma cooks every day. Yeah, this is like. So the students listen. So you help them. You help them to be on one tune with the heroes, right, with the characters. Then, before watching the cartoon, give them some task. For example, clap when you hear day of the week, or write down what activities you hear. So anything that is appropriate to the age of your students. Movement, maybe raise your hand, or write down, or play bingo. Yeah, write down your ideas and cross if you hear it, right? So if the book doesn't give you any task, listening should be active. So it's not just we listen because we need to listen, right? We need to listen because we need to develop these listening skills. Yeah, we need to respond to listening. In real life, we won't focus on something that we don't respond to. When we hear something, usually we have some response. Okay, very quickly, videos, again, when you want to show students the videos, you activate their knowledge. Yeah, you describe them. This is a national park somewhere in the United States. You say students, they are going to watch video and find out about an adventure, yeah, which happens here. Your ideas. Next, I like this idea very much, and I suggest we need to use it all the time. Tell students they're going to watch the video, right? Read through the instructions and sentences, and this is a very important thing. Ask students what type of words they will need to listen out for while they watch the video, right? So if we go back, we can see that we came to Utah to discover the desert something by bike. Yeah, so what here? The desert, I guess. Desert something by bike, right? What could it be here? A noun, an adjective, right? Our tour along trails carved into walls of rock. Yeah, again, after hour we usually use, right? So we help them. This is, again, we go back to this bottom-up listening skills, but anyway, this is very important. But together with that, they have this background information of what words are usually missed, yeah, or what words we use after an article, or if we have the verb, what could be before it, yeah, something like that, right? If we have, for example, an bike, yeah, what could be between an and bike? Yeah. So we help them to build these strong connections. Then they watch this perfect video, and you can discuss, right? Songs, again, songs are a perfect way with the students to practice listening while doing what young learners usually do. Yeah, they watch programs, they listen to songs, they watch cartoons. As you see, all examples are quite natural. The same is with songs. Activate everything, yeah, discuss. Look, where are the people? What do you think? Is it a weekend? Is it a working day? What do you do, right? So help them. When they have this discussion, they will understand much more from the song that without it. Give them these words that like keywords that they need, right? And again, you can go, look through the samples, listen to the song. They're quite catchy, and not only your students, but you would be those who will listen to them. And again, songs help to develop listening these because in the songs lots of useful pronunciation tricks can be found, right? Like these rhymes, yeah. Also these chunks, right? We never sing like word by word. Yeah, we say the short forms, we pronounce them quickly. So we really help to develop this skill to understand fast flowing speech with the songs. All right, so to sum up, you can see some of the words from the webinar. Just have a look and write or just think, why did I use these words in my webinar? Okay. Right, so active, we were talking that listening is an active skill. Bottom up, is when we teach our students to recognize phonics, words, some parts of the sentences, right? So we construct the meaning from the smallest part and go to the wider part. Top down is, again, when we know the situation, we can predict what type of response would be. Background information, this is what our students usually lack, and we need to activate it and to adapt to it. Same and different. These were activities from Wonderful World when we need to listen and to understand which of the sounds, which of the words have same or different sounds, right? This is to develop this understanding of parts of the words of speech. Video, songs, and cartoons. This is what we use for our young learners, which is quite usual, quite natural for young learners to exploit, right? And they actually do it in their free time, so it would be quite natural for them, quite usual for them, and they will respond to it much friendlier than it's just a listening task. Okay, so I guess I'm going to finish the webinar and to share with you this lesson that I prepared for you. So it would be just in a second. The Wonderful World series. This is what inspired me. This series that helps us to bring the world into the classroom, that tells about the culture. It has a students' book, workbook, together with grammar book. And grammar book actually can be used separately. It covers the program of primary school, and it has great exercises to practice language and also for production, not just to fill in the gaps, but also to use these structures in games. So quite a great book. You saw that lots of materials were online, audio online, extra cartoons, tests, some activities, everything. Also, if you, some of you wrote that you use the Wonderful World, so if you use it, if you have lesson planner, and but for some reasons you forgot your teacher's book at school, and now you can't go there and take it, you can find teacher's book in Teachers Online Zone. So feel free to log in, to download it, and to use it if you have already used that. It has flashcards and posters for students, so you will be equipped with visuals, with high quality visuals that you need. Lesson planner gives you great tips how to make your lessons even more interesting, and this clear step-by-step instruction, what should be done with objectives, what should be covered in the lessons, materials, what you need to prepare. So this is like a must-have for any teacher. If you buy 15 books, 15 sets, student book plus workbook, you can get this lesson planner for free, together with a free student and workbook. So this is what National Geographic Learning proposes to you, to your needs, and for you to open the world and to show your students what our world is wonderful. Yeah. We also, several webinars ago, there was kind of competition for teachers to create some activities. We prepared a special, I would not know, this collection of teachers' ideas. So you will get the link to download this in the follow-up email. You can read the activity. There are about 8 activities, I guess. And also you can download the sample and try to use it. So if it's the end of the year, right? We are all tired, and you want something fresh, feel free to look, to try, and to have some twist at your lessons. For those who are like keen on teacher professional development, pay attention to this webinar. They are about to start in several days. Teaching kids in online assessment in online teaching. You need to visit the site traininglinguist.ua to find out about the speakers, about the program. So I found there are much more webinars, but I found those that are closer to our topic today. Also, Linguist Training Center prepares students. They have this modular program that takes you through all the processes you need in order to teach your students, right? So these are, and for teachers of young learners and for teachers of teenagers, so two different programs, and you will get what you need. You will get answers to the questions that you have in your practice, depending on which age you work with. Again, please wait for the certificate, and I am, if you are ready, if you have time, actually, I could answer your questions. I still can have some time to spend with you today. So if you would like to, I would be happy to answer the questions about our today's topic. And please, next on the right, so finally, what I promised, on the right, you can see the toolbar. You will see there handouts. This is like some rectangles, like notes. You can open them and download them. What you get there? There you will get this lesson plan and all activities that you need in order to teach your students. So this is the month of the year. Probably you would like to revise them with your students. It would be perfect. Or you would like to teach them. So you need to download the materials. They are free. These are the sample materials that you can download. Right now, you can download everything, and the PDF of the unit and audio and presentation. So here is a step-by-step lesson plan, what you do with the children. We include some videos that are from our Facebook page. We also include some online activities that you can give for your students for homework or to ask them during the lesson. Actually, you can try them and then you can create everything. This is a perfect application. Also, presentation is here, so you don't need to invent anything. You just use our presentation, show it on the screen, and work with your students. This is month of the year. We combine it with the CLIL, so you will study something about Southern and Northern Hemisphere and different seasons of this. Yeah, so your students will get some background information, so next time they will be able to talk about this in English, actually. For example, New Zealand is in the Southern Hemisphere, right? Suggestions how to use chat box, right? So you need to download them. Can we set a listening task as homework for small children? What you can say from your experience? Okay, thank you for your question, Galina. I guess, yes, we can. Why not? Who told it's forbidden? Right. But as for me, the form of the task should be familiar with your students. So if your students never matched pictures to the words and you give it for homework, I don't think it would be a good idea because they can get lost. Also, if you give listening task for your students, it should be oh, thank you. Thank you for your comments. Sorry. So it should be, you should know that they know the words, they know the context, they are familiar with the topic. So if it is a follow-up for your lesson, that's great. This is what I say. And then you can give them extra task to write down some words that they don't know and show them. But I guess it's not for the first, second graders. So for first, second graders, you can give listening task if they know the structure of the task, the form of the task, they're familiar with the vocabulary. So you they will feel safe. Okay. Thank you for all your kind words. They make me smile. Really happy to listen to your feedback. I really hope that you will try that you will try my lesson, and I would be really happy if you write me feedback, if it works, if it doesn't work, what you could improve probably, what you did differently, what was interesting for your students, was the topic interesting for your students, because month of the year is quite a beaten topic, right? We studied all the time, but talking about Southern Hemisphere, like Wonderful World suggests, that was really interesting idea. Okay, as far as I can't see any questions, I guess I will stop the webinar. So lots of you are already here, still here. Great, thank you. You're really great teachers who devote their time, and I appreciate it very much that you devote time to listen to my introduction, to my presentation. I hope that you come from go from the webinar with ideas. And again, feel free to contact me. So my last slide would be my contact details. So again, please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Please wait for the certificate for several days, and after that, if you don't get that, you can of course write to us and ask what happens, but we again kindly remind you that Ukrnet mails don't get any mails from our webinar platform. So next time, please register different mailboxes. You can write your name, but for example, your friends or your husband's or wife's mail, and they will receive it and then forward it to you. Okay, dear colleagues, thank you very much. I think we will we will finish, and next year it's going to be our next demo lesson. We will announce it on Friday, so follow our Facebook page, you will see there if you would like. If you teach 6th, 7th graders, there would be a demo lesson for them, so feel free to join us. Thank you again, and have a good day, have a good week, and keep doing what you do like real professionals.